Good evening. We're going to switch this internet over because that's the right thing to do. There it is. Whoop, there it is. All right, so we got everything straight now. So good evening. It's funny because I'll be doing this again in the morning, but tomorrow will be the morning due for certified doers. Tonight is unfiltered on all the things. So like what is going on. I know some people saw like the 911 thing. That's just because today is 9/11, and I know that it is a commemorative day, um but I wanted to take some time and at the nighttime we'll be here for maybe about an hour or so to allow people to stop in and just share your stuff. What happens is, y'all, hey, Vindo, what happens is like I get a lot of people. Um, I get a lot of people that are like, Jackie, X, Y, or Z, like this. And I'm going to send this if you want to join me and ask questions. You can do that. You can join live. Putting the link in all the places. Um, but I get a lot of people, that tell me things, that need things that I think sometimes I don't think people be believing. Um, I don't think people believe that I get some of the comments that I do receive. So tonight, uncut, unfiltered, I'm gonna share some of the stuff that I've gotten messages. If you want, you can call in. I'm gonna put the call dial in number. You can dial into the delegate phone, share your gripe, share your thing. This is really about nothing is off limits here. Okay. Nothing is off limits in this conversation here. So just 472. I'm going to try to scream it on the bottom actually. 4721 1392. That's the number for dialing in. It's okay if you call. Okay. Like if you feel like you got something you want to share. Uh-oh, I meant to press post on this side. But yes, let me see on the Instagram side, the dial-in number is 472 1392. I'll change it up here, but the biggest thing, yeah, who beefing on Norfolk City Council and why? So first, I love it. I love it. I got something going on with Instagram for some reason. I know y'all could probably still see me, but I can't make no comments over there for some reason. But I'll so on Instagram, we got nothing's off limits. Nope, this your time to ask the question. And you said who beefing on Norfolk City Council and why? But in all seriousness, what can we do to get more public art around the city? A couple different things, right? So I have no idea. Um, what's funny, right? Like, is that I'm going to address like the first question because I said nothing's off limits, and we're going to address it like who beefing and why. It's really interesting because I think in political circles, you can never tell who is connected to who. Right. There might be people that you think might not get along, but then when it comes, we call them strange bedfellows. At least that's the way it was explained to me. That they're odd bedfellows, like people that are just connected. And maybe when they out in the streets or the cameras turn on, you don't see it. But afterwards, yeah, it's a thing. So it's really hard to tell who's beefing, who's not beefing. Um, I don't necessarily have the strongest relationships to know with any of them to know who is getting along with who. And quite frankly, sometimes it don't matter. I just want to know what we're doing for the city, for the city. But even with that, because again, this is unfiltered, right? Uncut. The past couple of days, I have been, debating with myself, like, I don't like the way Norfolk feels right now with I don't like the way it feels. Like I feel like I'm not really excited about possibilities of 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 I'm not really excited about nobody like doing stuff or like showing up in a very meaningful way. So I have been like saying to myself like how much more or how much work should I be putting into trying to help guide people to come in leadership and things like that. And how much should I just focus on some broader stuff? But I love this city, so it don't make it easy because I don't know that there's anybody that I'm super excited. Like I don't, I'm not jumping out of my seat for nobody right now. Um, but I'm a cheerlead my team. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the squad, to the doers that be doing. But how do we get more public art across the city? There is what I would, if you live in Norfolk, and I don't know, Layla, if you're still in Norfolk, but there's a public arts commission. There's two separate commissions. One is public art, um, and there's also an office for public art that I can send you. That I mean, I think that the commissions have been doing a pretty good job of getting more public art out there. I mean, you see the little the power boxes that have been put up. You know what I'm talking about? Where they got the art on the. If you look at the stop sign, not at the stop sign. If you're at a stoplight and you see the little box, that there's a lot more artwork that way going on. But um, let's connect the dots. I'll give you the number to the person that runs that, and then actually talking to the Public Arts Commission. If you go on the city website, look at all the boards and commission. There's one specifically for public art, and those meetings should be public. If they're not, I remember I went to a meeting. I went to a meeting for civic facilities. This is before I got elected or anything. I went to a meeting for civic facilities and they tried to kick me out. They were like, this is not a public meeting. The civic facilities are the people that guides what happens like at the scope, like all of the places where there's stuff jumping off at, like us, Chrysler Hall, scope, all that stuff. So like they're making decisions. That's why I told y'all these, but a long time ago, I straight told y'all these boards and commissions ain't nothing to play with, and try to call friends to tell y'all need to be on it. But like, yeah, there's a group of people that help decide that artwork. If you think it's dope, I think you need to let the city leadership know that like you like that and that you want to see more of that around. Like I want to see more of that. Yes, and let's go. So that's part of it. But Layla, that's what I would say is reaching out to public art. And I'll look it up. But I know it's on the city website, the public art stuff. Um, um, that's available for folk. Let me make sure I'm doing this right because I had a couple letters that were sent in to me for this evening, and I wanted to make sure that I read these letters from constituents that are just like Jackie. Uh, this is my gripe. This is my grievance. Did I get them? But while I'm here, I told y'all it's uncut, unfiltered. You better ask your questions. You don't have to say your name. You can actually call in if you want to. Call into the phone, and that part I will not share your name if you just want to talk live. The link too, if you want to dial in at the link and just share what you want to share too, that's cool. But this is not about me talking. This is definitely about you asking. Nothing is off limits. I said that. I also said that there is nothing off limits here. So if y'all don't use this time wisely, then you're not gonna get the delegate unfiltered and live. For sure. Um, hold on, I thought I had a couple of them. Um, and I'm looking. I ain't getting no real nothing. What's pegging you the most? What's giving you the most gripes? Like what's causing you the most problems? Come with it. I'm looking. I promise you I'm looking. I'm gonna refresh. I hope I don't lose Instagram, but I'm gonna refresh just to make sure that I can see what's happening. Hold up. For some reason, Instagram, I don't lost. I don't lost. I think I lost it. Hold on. Let me see. All right, there you go. There you go. I thought I lost y'all for a second. You know what I want to talk about? Don't say you want to. Hey, go ahead. Come on. You want to talk about it? You can come on to the live. Baby, baby, baby. Go ahead. Go ahead. Listen. Come through. I'll send you the link. I send. Come. You are perfectly okay with talking about. You are perfectly okay with coming over here and talking that talk like with Alex. like you are perfectly okay with that. I'm gonna drop I will DM you the link. I will let me see if it'll let me message you. If it will let me message you. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get an Instagram page open and I'm about to message you the link. Because if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. Now's the time, unfiltered, and we can talk. Huh. I see that message over there. I'm about to get to it. It seems like I got a page in the house. I can't take it, y'all. You about to make my face hurt. About to make my face hurt talking. Let me see. Don't even play with me talking about some you gonna there we go, messages. Zan, I'm sending it to you right now. So don't act like don't say you if you scared, say you scared. If you scared, say you scared. I'm about to send you this link. I'm gonna chat with you. I'm about to send you this link and you can jump in right now. Actually, I just told a fib. Let me get the link before I start lying. Yes, if you want to come on live where people can see you and you can talk with me directly, you're more than welcome. I will DM you the link to get in. All you got to do is pop up. Lee Hall, hey there, Delegate. It's Lee Hall from the house. Oh, I was wondering what you think can be done to bring more jobs to the Southwest region. Did y'all hear that? What do you think can be done to bring more jobs to the Southwest region? My first question would be, because what I've learned is that like urban and rural problems are they run parallel. Actually, they run adjacent to each other. Like they definitely sit at an intersection. Lee, what I would ask is, it's like saying you want to bring more jobs. You got to let's talk about the kinds of jobs that would matter and that would be considered, I don't want to say good jobs, but the kinds of jobs that you want to bring to Southwest Virginia, right? Like what kinds of jobs? What happens is people think, people out in rural in Southwest, all they want is manufacturing job. All they want is and that is not the case. Like that's they're I am sure we are sometimes drawn to what's in our immediate area. So then my challenge in being able to answer that question, especially as somebody who has never, all I've done is drive through Southwest Virginia, and I really want to do more. So maybe you can hook it up and we can come for a visit and you can show us around town sort of deal. But what kinds of industry would your community want people in my position to be advocating for in Southwest Virginia, right? Like you might not want a Ford plant or a microchip plant or like what is that? That's what will be my charge, because I can't stand that when they be like, well, people and it's like when they generalize people in the Black community or people in urban communities or women. These are the kinds of jobs that they want, and it's like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't generalize us in that way. Like you should really ask the question of what we're looking for rather than telling us what kind of stuff we need. Like I believe firmly, Lee, in nothing about us without us. Meaning if I'm bringing something forward, I assure you, if I don't identify in that area, that there better be somebody around here that's coming up in here with me to help understand what that problem is and how we can fix that problem, period. Like, period. Zan, I still don't see you up in here. I'm still looking. I sent you the link. if you're going to talk that talk, this is live and unfiltered. We're not playing. We are not playing this evening. I told y'all nothing is off limits. This is not the morning dew. This is not where I'm just putting out information. So this is your time. I cannot say that enough. I'm in my sweatshirt, right? And shout out to the people that like to lurk. How you doing? That like to lurk and then act like, they don't know I be doing stuff. That's trying to find out what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Hey, I'm just here because I want to give people a chance to speak to me as a human. That's all. We got our first first caller. First person dropping in. Hey, hold up.
First caller on the line.
Hey.
Say hi, Sidra.
I'm seeing if I can make you closer. Yes, there it is. There it is. Okay, what you want? What you want? What you talking about?
Birth in Norfolk.
Come on, tell me more.
So I think that we can make a lot of change in maternal mortality, and just pregnancy and overall maternal health.
What does that look like?
It can look like Medicaid covering midwifery care. It can look like teaching women what first interventions are at the hospital, or whether a hospital birth is even necessary. It could look like a lot of things.
All right, so you said something peculiar, whether a hospital birth is even necessary. Yeah. So
we treat pregnancy and birth like it's an emergency instead of something that's just physiological. No one counts how many times they blink, and if they don't blink the correct number of times an hour, no one goes to the doctor because of that. So to time birth and expect that 1 centimeter an hour, hourly cervical checks, et cetera, are just required for everyone, just doesn't really hit home.
It doesn't really hit home. So I think it might be even more interesting because, I think you're kind of people would think you were radical as it comes to birth, but really not. Do you want to share something like uncut, unfiltered? Just say it.
Sure. So I had 2 free births actually. So
free births, like free, like they cost you nothing free.
They actually cost $0. And I guess that's they're free. So had my kids at home, both my kids at home, planned and unassisted. So I pretty much planned to give birth 100% on my own with no midwife and no doctor, so no medical professional.
At all. And then what does that look like?
Well, so people always ask about birth certificate, social security number, all of that stuff can be taken care of at Vital Statistics. They'll send you home with a home birth package. As far as birth, I never know which questions people always want answered because I don't know what's different about it. I've never had a hospital birth. So people are like, but what about such and such? And I'm like, oh, well, it's not necessary. Yeah. A lot of things are not necessary. They're just done. We're all put on this conveyor belt of care. Mm-hmm. And we should just be better informed for our own safety. She said, stop.
Better informed for our own safety. What does that even mean?
That means, specifically about pregnancy, that means knowing that just because your water broke does not mean you have to go to the hospital. That means knowing that if you don't put anything in your vagina, you're more than likely safe to stay home and wait until labor happens on its own. My water actually broke on the 19th of January and I didn't give birth until the 26th. So people don't, I mean, I'm assuming people don't know, like your body continues to make amniotic fluid.
Right. pause for a second, because again, we're unfiltered. If you want to come in and share your piece of whatever your world is, you're perfectly, I will DM you the link. This is the thing. I'm gonna say this out loud, okay? Because some of y'all are listening to her say this and you're like, that means nothing to me. My water, that first off, water breaking is a TV thing. Most times, like a lot of times people's water don't, but it does happen. It's like, okay, but the water does not stop coming. Okay, do you hear me? The water break. It's not one cup of water. It's continuous water break. Like it's a continuous flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like peeing on yourself consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just peeing
with no control.
Yeah, no, but it just stops and then it pees again, and then it stops.
And if you laugh, and if you move a certain way, it'll trickle out.
Yeah. This is real. So your water broke on the 19th of the month. You didn't give birth until the 26th?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me how you can say that, right? And that not be like, why aren't you in the hospital? Like, help me. And then like, what are you, what?
So on the 19th, I had, this is uncut and unfiltered. So
you have uncut and unfiltered your birth at home by your damn self with one witness, because that's mandated by law.
Right.
Is on your Instagram.
It's on my Instagram.
Okay, so let's not, like, Unfiltered is going to watch the birth like you delivered your own baby by choice, and that's perfectly legal. Let me say this, like, that's
in all 50 states.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm gonna back up and say, like, okay, help people understand that you're not crazy.
So, well, I'll tell you how mine happened. So my water broke. I was like in the middle of the night, hungry, eating on the couch. I felt a trickle. I assumed it was just regular pregnancy discharge. Whatever, I'll take care of it when I go upstairs in a minute. I'm going to finish my food. Then more and more. And then it was like running down my legs. I'm like, yeah, this is not normal. This is a little bit more. So a lot of times you can tell that it's amniotic fluid as opposed to any other pee or discharge, because amniotic fluid has like a bleachy smell to it.
Yeah.
Almost like a sweet bleachy smell. And so I could tell from that smell, and I just put a Depends on. And I pretty much wore Depends for a week. And I believe I had what is called prodromal labor. So it lasts off and on. It like ups and downs, and it can take forever. So I would have contractions 2 minutes apart, 3 minutes apart for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then I would go days with no contractions. But the entire time, like I had.
Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? I'm just asking, right? Because, like, for the good of the order, are you a doctor?
No.
So you just decided, right? Like, I'm just making it plain, right? You just decided, I'm gonna give birth to my own kids by myself at home. By law, all I need is a witness, and I'm gonna do all that stuff.
Yeah, and I did a lot of research. So of course you want to know infant resuscitation and stuff like that. Like, you want to be well informed about everything. I found the issue when I was pregnant that I was told that if I didn't get the flu vaccine and the COVID vaccine, I was gonna die. Like, and if I got sick, I would die. It's like scare tactics. You could just truthfully inform me of how high the risk is of me dying if I got both of those. Instead, you'd rather just say you'll die. And so it's just small stuff like that. Statistics, they'll say, oh, if you do something, then the risk of something else the risk will go up by 50%. Well, if that percentage is 0.05, going up by 50% is really not that bad. And maybe you want to take that risk. But instead of informing us, they often like leave tidbits of information out, making the decisions for us. Like, they can't just walk into your room and say it's time for a cervical check. You need to ask if you can reach in my vagina.
Okay. I want to tap on that because you actually came to summer school and kind of rocked our world. And remember, y'all, this is uncut, unfiltered. If you have a thing that you want to come on and talk about, Alexandria just came on to talk about maternal health care. You can pop in if you want. You can call into the phone. All you need to do is let me know in the chat, like, I want to pop on and come on. I learned, and I did not know this, which I'm pretty pissy about it a little bit too. Now that I think hindsight is that, like, they stop you from eating. So you made me think about this. And for those of you who may not have children or not been through a childbirth, like, they tell you can't eat when you go into labor. Mm-hmm. However, what I didn't think about is the fact that labor's work and it takes energy. Only way to get energy is through nutrition. And so you can't get nutrition from sucking goddamn ice cubes. Okay? He is fine. So what my husband did, unfortunately, what he did to me was he came in my room after being in labor for however long with eating what are the things, pepperonis, and wouldn't even let me eat a pepperoni. And so this person of African American descent took a pepperoni and let me lick it. Like, I'm in labor. I am hungry. I am starved. I don't want to say I'm starving because I don't know what it's like to starve, but I'm hungry and I'm mad. And all I could do was lick a pepperoni while still having to potentially give birth. That's crazy. I'm going to read a couple of comments. Like, you just kind of open my eyes to a lot of different things. Rena Be Good 60 said, I agree, especially in the African American community, the statistics are still high for mortality rates. We need some changes. The same thing happened to me 35 years ago. My baby was born with dry skin because the water ran out before labor started. Today, she is grown, a wonderful, healthy adult with a master's degree in nursing. But like, they like halfway telling us stuff.
We're not well informed.
So what you want to do?
I think I would love to open a birth center in Norfolk, and I would love for it to be more than just a birth center. I feel like it should be like an information center about birth, and women can come for classes, their spouses or significant others, whoever, can come for classes, and they can learn about pregnancy and birth.
Yeah. I think we stand to learn a whole bunch from you, just from your decision. Do you want to share about your decision to have kids?
Sure. So, at 26, I started to think about using a sperm donor to have kids. I wasn't ready to have kids, but she's like, be quiet. I wasn't ready to have kids at 26, but I was thinking about like who I would want to have a kid with. It's not looking so great out here. And then like how and when I would want that to happen. So 26 is when I started to look at sperm donors, just off and on with friends. Then at the end of my 30th year, I booked a consultation with my IVF doctor, Dr. Robin. And within a month found my sperm donor, and by I think July 24th, I had my embryo transfer for my first daughter. I know. You want to take her?
Yeah.
I had my embryo transfer for my first daughter, and then oh my gosh, I can't even think. Had my embryo transfer, and I had created 15 PGS normal embryos. So I decided to have my kids on my own, and using a sperm donor. So I'm technically a single mom by choice.
Yeah, technically, like, absolutely. And also part-time, I don't want to say medical professional, but like, you have expertise in delivering babies because you deliver 2 babies.
Right.
By by yourself, two very healthy babies you delivered by
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
Uh, it has me thinking about how effed up our system is.
Mm-hmm.
Just how effed up it is, just how
Yeah.
misinformed, and how we are put in a place where we're made to be afraid of this thing that happens quite often, rather than being informed on our ability to make decisions.
Yeah.
Real. So where do we go from here?
I think a big thing would be, I think I said it already. Medicaid covering midwifery care.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we can get that to happen, but
Yes, there was. I told you I have to actually make sure that I have to try and get the bill that was brought forth. There's people trying to do work in that area, and I definitely want to make sure that I definitely want to get an opportunity for you to connect those dots as we go into the next legislative session, just on what is or is not happening. But I think you stand to educate a whole bunch of people, because I'm not going to say I felt dumb, but I was like, golly, I could have ate. I could have been a better at. I could have been eating food, and Ray, I see you in the background. Ray, we about to get to you, but I could have been a better advocate for myself, like knowing certain stuff we're not taught to learn.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I'm just not to. I told y'all this is uncut, unfiltered. Just knowing things about my own private areas is like a thing. Like just understanding my cycle is like I'm learning now. Okay, there's these phases. There's a follicle period. Like I'm learning this stuff about myself. Stuff I, as a woman, should probably know, because I've been doing this thing that we do, bleeding once a month since I was 12 years old. I still don't even understand what that is. Like it's almost
a
wild.
lot of people don't.
So there's some education there that has to be done. Let me bring Ray up in here. Ray, I'm about to bring you in.
Hey.
Where you at?
Jackie,
hold on. Oh,
how you guys doing?
Doing good. Where you at, Ray?
Good. This is a conversation that I can't really chime in too much, but I was going to say that growing up in West Africa, literally, people gave birth at home. Like, there's been so many instances where they're sitting on the toilet. Next minute, you hear somebody, hey, the baby's coming. And it's like no epidural involved, none of that stuff. So just want to put that out there that, with Western civilization, I guess that's their norm, but it's very normal in Africa and in certain parts of the world for people to give birth without actually even having to go see a doctor, and not even a midwife present. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in the birth world, the toilet is called the dilation station.
There you go.
So it makes the baby come down faster.
Yeah. And I never understood why, like women, hopefully I don't catch a lot of smoke for talking and chiming into this, but based off experience, like I never understood why women here would lay down on their backs. Like back at home, they have you stand up.
Oh my God.
And you squat, and then the baby just comes right in and you just catch it.
That's funny too, because on my Instagram, people ask me all the time, why did you give birth in that position? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't take any birthing classes. I just let my body. You will instinctively go into the position that is best for you. Both times I gave birth pretty much like on bended knee, like if I was proposing to someone.
Wow. Well, kudos to you, girl.
Thank you.
You rock. Yeah. But I mean, totally different subject, Jackie. I didn't want to come and cut off, but I asked a question regarding so usually, I mean, we met the other day by a Delegate Norfolk store, you and I, and I go there a lot, and a lot of people out there always come to me and ask me questions. For some reason, they think this guy got it all figured out. I don't. So I'm like, who better to ask, than Jackie? She might know a little bit more stuff than I do. Jackie, there's a lot of our brothers here who are really working hard, making enough money. Bad credit is stopping them from getting housing. And I don't know, for some reason, the government just kind of hides all these grants and all this stuff. And, every time you get on Instagram, there's some sort of ad that's saying, hey, like government grants, X, Y, and Z, you can get this, you can get that. I mean, who's in charge of answering questions like that and helping people? Like, it's like it's like pulling a needle out of a haystack. Like, You go to different websites, they're sending you somewhere else. You could never get a direct answer regarding, you know, financial help if you're like down bad on credit and you need, you're making the money. Like, because all they would be like, oh, just consolidation, this and that. Like, nobody's trying to do that. They can already not afford to pay, you know what I mean, what they owe. So it makes you think they're going to be able to allocate resources and put that to the side. So that's been one of the conversations that we always have over there. It's just housing. It's a big issue, and people of color, we joined this race last, so it's stacked against us. So it's just kind of hard, and it's such a sensitive topic. Like when one does approach you about it, they're usually confiding in you as well, and they're kind of looking for an answer as opposed to you just knowing their problem and not solving it. So it's always been like the thing that just stuck with me. Like, how can we educate, I guess, people of color more about how to get all these grants and all this stuff? Like, and and not to go racial or anything, but I feel like we see a lot of mediocre people who raise their families and be able to support and have a home and all of that when all they're doing is just mechanic work. And then you have somebody who's doing some X, Y, and Z, trying their best, due diligence, and can't even get an opportunity. I could never understand it. So that was my question. Anything that you can, add to that to help us, create that awareness.
So I hear a couple different things. I just want to talk about real quick because it's a couple things. It's housing, but then there's the credit piece, right?
There you go. Mm-hmm.
There's the credit piece. There's a woman that I think many people, she's leading the way in data, specifically around people with melanated folks, Black folks. She runs this thing called data for Black Lives.
Right.
I always say it wrong. Yashimi Bet Yashimi Bet Milner, I believe. And I met her. She was actually invited to the White House on a roundtable with data brokers. This girl is in the business and talked about how FICO needs to be abolished. FICO scores, period, need to be abolished because, and I'm going through, I don't want to miss it, is that FICO scores have been used as a weapon for Equifax, for transunion, and have it so much power over people's lives. And she's been lobbying, doing work at the federal level on how it needs to go. We need to abolish the FICO score. Seriously, like it doesn't exist in many other very well developed countries, and it's time for it to go. I just wanted to underscore her work, and I'm looking for this thing. So given the highest demographic, blah, 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 blah. So what she said is, I'm just going to quote something she said, because she was doing this testimony and it was just so dope. She's like, I'm confronting a mortgage industry where in 2021, Black women under the age of 34, and she does this for everybody, but she's making it, Black women under the age of 34 are given the highest median interest rate by demographic. The housing market, where between 2018 and 2021, Black home buyers between the ages of 24 and 44 received higher median interest rates than whites, Hispanics, or Asian home buyers. The explanation for Black Americans being made to pay millions more in interest for the same loans are credit scores.
Yeah.
And that FICO scores, these algorithms knows the algorithm, because she's talking about AI, the algorithm knows that you're Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Automatically, because of that, you're deemed riskier, less worthy of owning a home, and having that sort of stability. And there's so much. There's so much just behind credit scores that I think there's so much bias and things in that that's a whole conversation that needs to be had about abolishing FICO because it's not serving anybody. Because I got enough. You're telling me I don't have enough money to rent, so then I should go buy. But then I don't have it. It's wild. So the second part of that is the resources. I think it's a matter of being super specific. What can we do to, because we were operating in the system of credit, like what can people do to build their credit? That's one thing. And then you said the housing piece, which is directly connected to credit, if I'm understanding right. Like, restate that question, because when I heard FICO, when I heard credit score, I got a little mad because I've been doing homework.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, just housing, like, if you needed help with housing allocation and stuff like that. I mean, like, I don't even know. I've never been on any government grants ever. I mean, never had food stamps, never. But like the guys that I run into, they would tell me, hey, like, I try to get government assistance housing and they wouldn't even, approve me. And the wait period is like three, I think they might have just opened up in Norfolk, but I don't even know based on the criteria how they rank them and how they do them. Like I am so immune to it and I don't, I have no clue. But what I do know is they make it hard for you to get information. That I do know, and that's just a
Okay.
myth with government. I could never understand. I mean, I watched the debate, and I heard Harris talk about her $20,000 whatever first home
Down
buyer.
payment. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, is that going to make an impact? I mean, Team Harry's over here, by the way, just making sure. But I mean, what's that gonna? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to take away from the
Yeah.
topic or whatnot, or from her campaign. Yeah, she's great, and I think this is country over party right now. So no one cares the debate yesterday or not. It's still my mind's already been made up. But it's just like the information is not out there. Like literally, like I have a friend of mine. He works for FedEx. He makes good money. He does his thing, but it's like his credit is bad, and he can't get apartment. He can't get. I mean, then again, I guess there's apartment you can find. There's stuff, forgiveness plans that they do first time renters, but he can't find anything, and it's like he's making close to 62, 63 grand a year by himself and can't even get, you know, an apartment or a home, stuff like that. And he's having to get a roommate. So it's just like, I don't get it. Like what resources are out there for people in that frame of earning? Like what can they get? What can they leverage? You know?
That's a great question. And I'm gonna say, like, I don't feel like I have the whole answer, but I know that in this world of the kinds of work that we do, that is kind of a responsibility, that if you, Ray, like, straight up, if this is like something that's super important to you, then like
Mhm.
let's pull something together. I know that there's some uh bank on classes that the city has about like people getting their banking, being bankable.
Yeah.
There, those sorts of classes, just to help people get straight. But what I think you're asking is like, what are the other resources for someone to be looked at in totality, to say like, here's the moves you have to make to take this next step.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, Ray? Like, just to make
Yeah.
sure that I'm
Yeah, that's more what I'm talking about. And then I see a lot of government grants, like, and I'm like, how do people tap into these grants? Like, I feel
mm-hmm.
like the awareness is not there. Like, we know nothing, and I don't mean that in like a degrading kind of way. It's just
Yeah, no.
like we're so busy dealing with other things that are out there and try to just survive. Like, so it's like we never really take time to really figure out resources. Hell, I always tell people like just walk into banks. Like during COVID, I remember I was telling people you're getting all these loans. Just walk into a bank and tell them, hey, I have XYZ amount of money. What can that do for me? Like, a credit line, a business. So it's just I feel like we're scared of things like that because for far too long we've been redlined and we've been kind of marginalized in a way. So, people don't believe in the system anymore. But I just think if we really had like a platform where like it would address the needs, and when I say needs, not the whole thing, but we know housing is a problem in Norfolk.
Yeah.
There's too many homeless people under the bridges, and talk about it being a VA state. You know what I mean? So you see all these signs, these panhandlers. So just things like that. Like, where can you go and just understand, like, hey, like, you need, and I guess I don't know what the criteria is. Again, there might be a difference between a single or a family or a
Yeah, yeah,
female
yeah.
or with a daughter with a male, but it's just we don't have these answers. And these, I've never even been to the Social Security office or whatever the office is in downtown Norfolk. Never been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people always ask questions. They're always asking questions and always trying. I mean, where the restaurant is, Atlanta, so you know. So people do come up and ask, and they want to know.
Something maybe we need to do, like maybe we need to figure out some things and just like have something at the restaurant, like have a resource day there, like for real, of like committed, like all right, today we just gonna bring a bunch of people in that deal with taking a step to home ownership, and that's what we're gonna do. I put in the chat a program that I know about.
Okay.
I'm gonna mention this for a second because it's feedback, just for a second. So I put in the chat this program that I know about that was funded, called Homeward Norfolk, and that it is can provide up to $40,000. And I know, like, I have had a neighbor that right after COVID, she got herself situated to help get the down payment assistance, up to $40,000 down payment program, and closing costs for first time home buyers that have an income that is between 80 and 120% of the median income purchasing a home in specific areas, right? So like they have focus areas: Ingleside, Monticello Village, and then Oakdale Farms. And then if you're trying to buy a home and your income comes under that 80%, that you could be eligible up to $60,000. So I put that in the chat. On the recent, and this is adjacent to that it's not the home buying piece, but it's eviction prevention, because that's a whole thing of people getting in and then the landlord, like, I'm about to lose some. Actually, I lost a neighbor this past month because the landlord was like, I'm going up $300, like, and they just went up $200 last year. Like, it's just wild, right? So like, it's just like, and then I'm only keeping one of them because they got a roommate, right? They got somebody else to move in. But that eviction prevention, they just funded some more of that. It was on last night's city council agenda. I can't remember. I try to stay what's going on in the local government too, while I'm trying to do my job. It's like, because the goal here is always to resource people. So I try. So I'm also leaning in and saying, yo, like, if you find something and you feel like our office needs to know it, like, I'm asking you to share, because stuff like this happen, right? Where we got to share the information with each other. But I think it might be dope to do a resource day at the restaurant, or partnership with May, because Mary's down.
There you go. That's my boy Driver. So I already know. Yeah, he'll be down for it. Yeah. So that sounds like a good idea, actually. And trust me, at a neighborhood like that, it'll have a big, big impact, because people need that awareness there.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm down for it. Trust me. I'm down for it. I'll probably DM you. I'm at work right now, but I'm getting off soon. So yeah, I'll DM you, and then we'll go from there. But
yeah, honestly, let's just find a time to meet up at the shop. Like, because I could go, we'll find a time to meet up at the shop, and then I'll get with Driver, and let's just like figure out if there's something that
and even if it has to be like a mini, like a show for the kids or whatnot, I'm down. And I think we talked about this, so it's about time we partner and make it happen. So
because that's the thing, is like, don't nobody know your block better than you, right?
Yeah.
Better than you and the people that live on it. And that's like your space, and you know what you're saying. Like, you know people, you seeing a need. So like, let's do it.
There you go, Jackie. You're awesome. Thank you for everything you do. We appreciate you, Jackie.
Now,
right. Thank you.
You take care. Have a good day at work.
All right, you too. Bye.
Ray's leaving. All right. So I'm looking at a couple comments here. Somebody said they literally put into place discrimination for those who do not have access to capital. Facts on facts on facts. Rena says she took the liberty to follow up on the conversation in AI and found out this is one of the areas used to keep us hostage. Yes, FICO scores, like, it's real. It's not even fake. And over at Data for Black Lives, they're doing a lot of work on, like, how do we abolish FICO, because it's super biased. And she says, starting to put together You're Another Race and watch how it changes. Start putting that together under Another Race and watch how it changes. I did it for my kids in high with testing, and they passed after a couple attempts. It's crazy how they use our nationality against us. It's real. Like, we got to understand, like, algorithms are real. This is why we need more different, we need different kinds of people in the space of understanding data, right? Like, because it's only as good as data can also be biased, right? I can find anything to back up anything that I'm saying, but when we're building algorithms, we need all kinds of faces, places, and spaces. We need people geographically different doing it. We need people in different income brackets. We need people that identify differently, because these algorithms can be biased, period. She had to drop out. Thanks for having me. No, thank you for coming in and sharing your story. Like, yo, free birth. It ain't just dollars free, like free birth, really, like climbing that mountain without a hook, a rig. Okay. Sierra, hey Sierra, I love you. Said, I think it'll be helpful for our community as a whole by amplifying the voice of those that understand data. Alexander, for instance, she posted some interesting information. Yeah, because she's dope, right? Like, she's got this lived experience that allows her to talk about things from a very different way and with confidence. And confidence comes from experience. Confidence comes from preparation. And so I believe that you got some stuff that you are confident about, that is just like, you got to be out, you stand in your light, stand in your light, whatever that may be. So y'all, this is Live and Unfiltered. We got about how many more minutes here? I think it looks like 9 more minutes or 4 more minutes. This is Live and Unfiltered. I'm just letting y'all pop in. If you want to pop in, I'll DM you the link. You can just come in and say what you got to say. We had somebody come on and talk about, actually, you can follow her at Life with Alex and Rack. I put that talked about the free birth, right? Decided she wanted kids, decided she was giving birth without a doctor or a doula, did that thing twice, right? Like, that's it. Did it twice. 2 healthy babies, and really talking about how medicine be trying to put the fear in us, right? On some aspects. And that, telling y'all, at every rip of life, people thought things were radical until they weren't. Right? Letting us vote was radical until it wasn't, right? Like, this is real. I'm going to send a plug out, just because we were talking about maternal healthcare, is that my podcast with the Truth Be Told podcast that I just wrapped up with my partner, we did an episode in Virginia Beach where it talks about this midwife in Virginia Beach, and it talks about, like, look, that midwife gave birth God knows how many babies and didn't lose not one. So why are we losing so many now? And I think, Alex, you are on the way of freeing people's mind, and building the confidence in them to do the things that is so important. So if y'all could just go over to her page, like it, you can see that live birth. She blurs out parts of it so you don't feel cringy or whatever. But if you go to Life with Alex and Drac, and she can and Rack, you can see that whole process by which she popped them babies out in her living room. In her living room, which is like amazing. So shout out to you. And then y'all stand by for that. We're gonna go over there. If y'all don't know, it's on Briar Hill Road, right behind. If you're on Virginia Beach Boulevard, and right before you hit Swazd, right behind there, it's an amazing restaurant called Lily's. If y'all ain't never had no Senegalese food, you need to just go on over there, get you some poisson frit. Okay, the whole fish. The poisson frit, them onions be so good, and then go right next door to Made in Norfolk and get you a shirt, and you'll be good to go. But that's an area that has a high traffic. It's a high traffic area of a different demographic, right? People that you probably not kicking it with on a daily basis. But what Ray brought to the table is an understanding of the clientele that he's seeing, and the troubles and the questions that they're having. And that's what we got to do. It's like, you are not going to change the world, but that corner that you're living in, you're going to do some work in. And that's the reason for this Unfiltered. Y'all come to me with all kinds of stuff. I get the wildest emails and text messages, and I'm going to try to do this more often, the Unfiltered, like where you could just pop on and say what you got to say. And if you want to email, you want me to show it, you want me to share it, I'm cool with that. That's what I'm here for. So I'm looking to chat to see if there's anything that y'all want to share. Y'all got Life with Life with Alexandra K. I didn't even realize that. Like, I was like, don't know what I'm saying. You see me messing up? Life with Alexandra K. All right. Got it. Thank you for sharing it. I'm actually going to copy it and put it, cancel. I'm going to copy it and put it in the chat for those. For those don't know, cancel. Jeez Louise. Copy that junk. At follow. And I think we're gonna do some more things together. Like I just think she's dope individual. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And I think we need to do that, do more of that, sharing our stories. Okay. Okay. All right. Like this is it. Live and unfiltered. Y'all didn't have no controversial questions, but I do think that there's a chance for us to talk about some of the stuff that's popping off. Somebody asked some city questions. I'm just gonna give it to you straight, and then we'll try this again. We'll do this again maybe next month. And if you got your stuff, you come on and pop off. That's it. That's all. All right. Y'all better go eat dinner and get some rest, and drink some water before you got to get up in the morning, because it's tomorrow Thursday. All right. Till next time, Jackie Glass, Mama Navy Vet, certified doer, laced up legislator for the House Delegate, 93rd District, telling you, like, sometimes we got to talk with no filter. That's it. That's all. Peace. Oh, Sierra, I haven't determined yet. We were just trying this live and unfiltered where y'all can come in. We were just trying it. This is the first of it. So we might try to do this once a month or something. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure it out. All right. Be well, y'all. Bye.